Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations for BNI Arizona, and I help support all of our 80 plus chapters that we have in our BNI Arizona region. And every week I come to you providing a weekly education nugget called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education for watching. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's edition. We have a continuation from last week's edition. But before I go into that, I wanted to talk about Benningo. So we have Benningo and Member Extravaganza coming up next month, guys. I can't believe that it's already here. So April 1st marks our very start date for Member Extravaganza. So for those of you who are new to BNI, every single year we have a membership drive to where we have a lot of fun cash prizes and a cruise prize for sponsoring new members into BNI. And this year we created a little twist called Benningo, to where every chapter is going to have, in essence, a bingo card full of amazing categories that your chapter is specifically looking to add into your chapter. So what we're doing, our executive assistant, Shay, she is going to be creating one of these Benningo cards for every single chapter. So I already sent out communications to all of the presidents to collect all of the top categories that you guys are looking to fill. If you're a president watching this and you're not sure what I'm talking about, make sure to check your email. I sent out another one today as a reminder to get that information into me. So every chapter is going to have this Benningo card, and all of the categories except for one are going to be ones that the chapter had personally told us that they were looking for. There is going to be a special category called a unicorn category that is going to be designated by the BNI Arizona executive team. So 8 of these 9 categories will be chosen by the chapter, and the 9th one is going to be a unicorn category that will be picked by our executive team. We're going to be posting these on social media. So Shay will be posting all of these on our BNI Arizona Facebook page, and I'll also be sharing them to all of the chapter members as well, because members do have the opportunity to either sponsor new members to get a bingo in their chapter, or they can look at another chapter's cards. Let's say they have a lot of connections in another part of town and they notice that they have a lot of connections that a chapter is looking for. They can get a Benningo on another chapter's card, which is super awesome. So here is how it's going to work, guys. And I'm going to send you guys these details. So all the details are now published, and it'll be sent to all members so that way everyone has the details on this. But here's how it works. So applications dated between April 1st and May 31st are going to qualify. Again, applications have to be dated between April 1st and May 31st. If it's before that date, after that date, it does not count towards Member Extravaganza. So application date is king, guys. It's going to be, I say this every year, but we always get people asking about questions outside of these dates. These dates are set. So here's how it's going to work. So the first Benningo, so the first person to get 3 categories in a row on any card, any of the chapter's cards, will win $300 for sponsoring 3 new members into BNI. Again, it's got to be in a row on a chapter's card, any chapter's card. Now the second prize is the first member to get 2 Benningos. So 2 rows on any card. So it can be 2 rows on the same card, 1 row on one card, 1 row on a separate card. The first person to get 2 Benningos with sponsoring 6 new members in a row on any card will win $600 for sponsoring 6 new members into BNI. And then the third Benningo. So the first member to get 3 Benningos. So it can be on any card, guys, but 3 members in a row on any card. The first member to get 3 Benningos, so that's 9 new members into BNI, will win $900 cash. And then the first chapter to fill their whole board will also win $900 cash that you can use towards chapter supplies, or I would always recommend a fun event to use that money on to benefit the members of the chapter and to celebrate for being the first one to hit that 9 new members. Now for the cruise, guys, so for chapters that sponsor 6 or more new members into BNI, so any chapter that sponsors 6 new members into BNI, any of the members that sponsored those new members, their name will get put into the drawing to win the cruise, the BNI cruise that will be in October later this year. And that will be with Dr. Ivan Misner, so you get to network with the founder of BNI and you get to network with amazing members from all over the U.S. It's going to be an exciting time. We will cover the cost for the flight to get over there and the cruise, so it will be for you and your +1. So that is going to be all of the prizes, but Beningo is our brand new addition to this year's member extravaganza, so we're excited to kind of throw in a twist, a little fun twist, and offer some amazing cash prizes. Now, with the prizes, they will be in either cash or a Visa gift card, so whatever the winner decides that they want to receive that as. And then the other asterisk on this, guys, is that transfers, seat changes, and certificates of credit do not apply as a new person on the Beningo card. So if their category is on the card, if they're a previous BNI member, it does not count towards the member extravaganza prize details. So that is another caveat. In addition to that, on the cards, guys, so as you notice on this card, there are some overlaps when it comes to crossing. So if someone gets a Beningo and covers all 3 of these categories from top to bottom, the next person, so if someone were to get the ones across, this middle square would need an additional category because you can't overlap with categories. So it's always best to try to do like a straight line, but if it does go diagonal, the overlapping square, it would have to be a separate category. So once that middle one is filled, a new category will be plugged into that spot just in case someone goes diagonal. And even on the corners as well. So depending on where the first Beningo falls, if there is an opportunity for another Beningo to overlap a spot, we will plug in a new profession into the spot, so that way it is a new person being sponsored into the chapter to get that additional Beningo. Awesome. So I'm going to send you guys all the details, and I wanted to cover this in Wisdom Wednesday so that way I could send everyone the link to this video when I send out the details, so that way everyone can watch the details. And if you have any other questions, let me know. But I'm excited to get all of these bingo cards sent out and display all of the amazing professions that your chapters are looking for all around town. It's going to be an incredible growth opportunity for all of our chapters around town. Now, in line with that, so last week's Wisdom Wednesday, we talked about some details about the BNI Connect app, how the details worked as far as what you receive, what you've given, especially with the slips and the referrals. Today, when it comes in line with Beningo and Member Extravaganza coming up, we definitely want to make sure that we're utilizing the visitor feature on the BNI Connect app. If you log into your app and click on the visitor button at the very bottom, there's a couple different options that it'll give you when registering or inviting a visitor. I wanted to share with you guys the differences between the two, because that way we can make sure that people get registered. Because I've noticed that I've gotten a lot of questions to where members are sending out the links through the link through BNI Arizona for their chapter, which is great. But when we do that, it doesn't automatically register someone for the chapter meeting. And we want to make sure that they're registered. That way they get the reminder email and the confirmation email. And if they don't show up for the meeting, because their information is in the system, within 48 hours of the meeting time, if the attendance is not marked that they attended the meeting, they're going to automatically get an email saying, hey, sorry we missed you. Hopefully you can come back and visit us soon. So this is going to be a big thing, especially with Member Extravaganza, and making sure that we're following up and that the visitors get all of the amazing notifications that the system is already planned and prepared to send out. So when you click on the visitor button, there's going to be two options. There's going to be an invitation option and a registration option. When you click on the invitation option, that I would say would be for situations, let's say you're at a networking event and you meet an amazing professional, you're talking about your amazing BNI chapter and they just want more information. They haven't confirmed whether or not they can make it a particular date yet, but they're just looking for some more information about BNI. That would be a perfect opportunity to send them an invitation, because when you plug in their information, it'll send them more information about BNI and your chapter meeting. So it's a great opportunity just to then get them the information. It will also have the registration link so that way they can register for a meeting if and when they are available. Now, if the conversation is different, guys, and they said, yes, I'd love to come and visit your meeting next week, or in 2 weeks, or if you have an open business day coming up and they said, yes, I'd love to attend the event, make sure to go through the option of registering the visitor, because there are no records that are kept when you send an invitation, but on the registration side, that's when they get all of the notifications, and it's super easy to register a visitor. The only information that you will need from them is their name, their phone number, their email address, and what category that they represent. There are some other questions in the registration, such as business name, address, all of that information, but those items are not required to fill out the information for the visitor registration. So if you just have those 4 items, so name, phone number, email address, and category, it will then take care of their registration. Also remember, guys, if you do not have their email address, do not put your own email address in the registration. All email addresses in the BNI system are linked to specific names. So if you put your email address on a visitor registration, it will screw up a lot of things in BNI Connect. So you want to make sure that you put their email address in the information so that way all of the notifications get sent to them. That's the same with all of our online applications. The email address is the biggest piece to that puzzle, because the email address in the BNI Connect system is what links everything together. So this is why when a organization or a business has multiple representatives in different chapters, it's why each of those representatives can't have the same email address, because the email address is what sets each individual apart in the BNI Connect system. So make sure that we get the information right for the visitor and make sure that their email address is listed. This is going to help your leadership teams prepare for the weekly meetings as well. So if they see that there's a huge influx of visitors on a particular week, they can make sure that the venue is set up correctly and to make sure that the visitor hosts are prepared as well. A lot of our chapters pre-print the visitor name tags, and so that way the chapter looks more prepared when they're showing up to the chapter meetings. So there's little nuances that chapters love to do ahead of time, and if the visitors are registered, then the visitor host and the leadership team are much more prepared for that weekly meeting. And when you register someone and even encourage registrations, if there's any conflict with a category, the leadership team can communicate with that visitor ahead of time before they show up to the chapter meeting as well. So there's a lot of different aspects of the reasons why we need to register visitors. And on the back end, once they've attended, if they are not registered, it's a lot more added work for our visitor hosts who are marking the attendance in the system to get them entered in. Because if they're registered, it's literally a couple clicks of a button. But if they're not registered, the visitor hosts are having to manually enter everything into the system. So let's help everybody out and make sure to register all of our visitors, especially for our upcoming open business days. Because I know that a lot of chapters have some open business days coming up because of Member Extravaganza. So Make sure that we are preparing ahead of time and utilizing that visitor button at the bottom of your BNI Connect app, so that way everyone can be prepared. And as a member, you can also view the registrations that are coming in for visitors as well. So if you're unsure if you registered someone for a chapter meeting, if you log into BNI Connect, click on reports, click on chapter, and in the different reports, there is a visitor registration report. The visitor registration report will show you all of the different visitors that have been registered for the upcoming chapter meetings. So this is going to be a great opportunity, so that way you can go in and check to make sure that if you were talking to someone, whether or not you had registered them. If you're like, I thought I did, but I'm not sure, you can check that visitor registration report to confirm that the registration did in fact go through. Now the invitations, if you send an invitation, there is no log or report that will show you invitations that have been sent out, only the registrations, which is why I always recommend doing the registration side, because there are records to where you can go back and check to see if it's been entered into the system. So if you guys have any questions about registering visitors, or if a visitor needs to change a date, let me know and I can go in and update the system, so that way everything is taken care of there as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's edition of Wisdom Wednesday. And remember to record one chapter education unit for watching. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.